Hello. All right, we are welcome to back to Space Cat's morning chats. Morning chats with the space. I forget what we called them. Morning
Space chats in the morning.
space chats, and the H is in parentheses because it's
Yeah.
it's a pun. Right, I remember. So welcome back to that. The intention we're recording today on September 5th, but my intention, if we can pull it off, knowing that energy is very whatever, and we might not always make it, is for this to be something where, if possible, we record one of these once a week and then it's always released the following Monday so that you can wake up with it and start your week with us as like a little regular thing. And they're going to be shorter and definitely recommend watching the videos because we tend to get pretty visual in these.
Yeah.
But that's my update. I'm Sun Portal Zadikat, aka K, and this is
Dread Pirate KK.
Yes. How you doing?
All right. How are you doing? It's been
I
some fun
yeah.
energy.
I'm good. I've been having a really great week and I got
Mm.
a haircut, although right now it's just a bit like, I don't know.
I
No,
was gonna ask. I was like, your hair looks so different. I like with the bangs.
think
Looking good.
it's like when you first got a haircut and you kind of need to just get used to it,
Yeah.
wash your hair. I just got it 2 days ago, so I'm
Yeah.
excuse me, still getting used to it, but I have
I
something
love
fun
it.
to show. I just
Oh,
I
oh,
yes,
oh
so
my gosh.
holding up for people listening is a tote with Space Cat's happy hour on it, and
Oh my God.
it's got these nice green straps, and then on the back it's one of my oracle cards that's
Wow.
lazy witch, and it's this image of a really cool witchy looking
Hell yeah.
playing like some kind of string instrument.
Oh my
um
God. I freaking love it. I need one. I'm gonna order one from you.
um yeah, I was like looking into making them merch.
Hmm.
Um, but I need to do more research because I think that would be very fun.
Hell yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just need to do more research to see if it's feasible.
Yeah.
And if we do make the merch, we will definitely put a link and let you know so you can have your own Lazy Witch slash Space Cats happy hour.
Fucking love it. Oh my God. You are awesome, Zaddy Cat. I love you.
That came, it arrived yesterday.
Cool.
Yeah. Um, and yeah, on this end, I've been mega organizing and
Mm.
like, I've already talked about this with you before, but I've been getting lots of street finds that like pretty up the house. Um, and that's continued. But then I also started finding things to help me organize because I have where I make, like, we live in a teeny little apartment. So every square inch counts. And my office space, which is basically the hallway between the living room and the room, is where all of my Oracle card stuff is, which is like tons of, it's like all these books and like cutouts and papers and stuff. And I found these amazing, all these wicker things, like little wicker boxes that I could put things in, and then a big wicker basket that's like one of those old magazine racks, but it's like perfect for the books. And I've been
So,
finding picture frames, so I've been able to frame stuff.
wow.
New stuff framed on the wall. Thanks.
Yeah, I saw some new, you got a new angle on your camera. I can see the different stuff. I like it.
Yeah, yeah. Because I
Beautiful.
like that wall now, so I'm over.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
So
It,
yeah, and yeah, so that's been like, I don't know. I've got all this energy in me during the day, and like I was putting it into like drawing and writing, and then I had to take a little break from that. But then like I was like, where does the energy go? And it's like, oh, it's gonna go into like super reorganizing the house.
awesome. It's so funny. I was I was doing the same thing. I had I have a room, it's actually behind me. I call it the Zen room, even though the TV is also in there. It's just a nice, cute little relaxing room, and my books are in there. And I've been shoving, it's like the junk room. Everything I hadn't wanted to unpack or organize yet, I was like, I'll just put it in there. And so earlier this summer, I gave myself until September 1st to get that room organized and in shape. And also my bedroom, I really wanted to get that because there's like some of my grandmother's stuff is still in there, like books and stuff in the closet and, whatever. And I was like, okay, those need to be done by September 1st. I did manage to get the Zen room organized and usable. It's not like perfect, but at least it's not like it was. And I can go in there and actually relax. It's where I play games. All my consoles and shit are in there. And so I can at least do that and relax instead of being like, oh my God, I have all this stuff to organize. I did get that done by September 1st. And then a couple days later, it was actually yesterday, I woke up and I was like, get this stuff out of my bedroom now. And so I took everything out. And so I got my bedroom done too. I even like wiped off the shelves and dusted and like did so I was like, okay. So I think that was the Virgo new moon we just had. I was like, all
Yeah,
right, thank you.
majorly like woo.
Yeah.
Riding that wave. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's really cool. Oh, I
Mhm.
forgot to just say something. If you happen to be seeing this in a weird view where we're not side by side split screen, don't worry. Next episode, we'll figure it out and we'll be back to split screen. So if KK is tiny or I'm tiny, we apologize. It's just for this episode.
Tech
Um,
issues. We
oh,
we love it.
you were also doing some Virgo-y stuff on Froggie, the beautiful 193940
Yeah.
tractor.
My little tractor, I can give a tractor update. So the major part of the rehab process for this little tractor was the brake work. And nobody ever wants to do the brakes on these kinds of tractors because it's literally impossible. You have to take off the tires and I mean, and the tires are like 400 pounds because they're all weighted. So the tractor doesn't tip. And anyway, so it's like a major big deal. But my, friend is helping me do all this stuff and he was up for the task. And so yesterday, we got the tires back on and with the brakes and like all this stuff. And it's really complicated because when you put the big heavy, it's like 80-pound axles or I don't know all these words, but something goes in that it's really heavy on each side before the wheels go on, and you have to put them in at first and see if everything has lined up. And even if everything has lined up, you still have to take it back apart and do the thing. So it's really labor heavy, labor intensive, heavy stuff. And so my friend did most of the heavy lifting, but I was definitely there, and I got to use a what do they call it? Like a crane, like a pump crane or something like that. I forget what he called it. And so like I hand cranked the pump crane thing to lift the tires, and then he kind of guided it in. And so I felt really badass, and I was covered with grease and all
Oh
this really cool
God,
stuff. Yeah, and so
awesome.
it was a really gnarly few hours to do all this work, and it was one of those things where if you learn a lot about somebody because you're you get in and you're like, hold on, stop, like it can be really tense to like get everything lined up and stuff, but it was really cool to work with him because it was one of those things where if I an older version of me doing this with my grandfather, for example, it would have been like really traumatic and everyone was yelling and this, whatever. So
Right.
even though there was a lot of, heavy lifting and emotions and that kind of stuff, it was very healthy. And like even though there were some tense moments, it was not ever personal. It wasn't like you're doing a bad job or I felt bad about myself or any of that stuff. So it was a really cool healing opportunity to kind of do some of these old versions of me things that I would have had a bad experience with, and it was actually a really good experience, and we were laughing and we went out to lunch afterwards, and anyway, it was just a really nice thing. And I have, Froggie is ready for the next step. Really the next step is like doing final parts stuff. No more of the heavy lifting, but more like painting and adjustments and this and that, and we're going to do that at Lee's house, and that's going to be next week, and I'm going to learn how to like drive it and operate it and stuff, and I'm really intimidated, but I'm also excited. So yeah, it's a really cool project, and I'm going to have my little tractor that I get to ride around and mow the trails in the woods and all that stuff.
Friggin' awesome.
Yeah, I feel a little bit like an imposter, but not real. Like I'm getting over that more and more. It's like I really just don't feel like I'm a farmer. I feel like I don't deserve any of this stuff or shouldn't be doing it. You know, all that working through all this stuff as this year has gone by. And now I'm just kind of like, okay, here's my next step and clearing out anything that's telling me I'm not worthy of doing any of these jobs because I am. And so
Yeah.
here we go.
Um, I've also, oh, I know what I wanted to mention.
Mm,
I had some few interesting things. One of them was, so back in the day, a few years ago, it's happened off and on, but there's this spot on my bedroom wall at night that will sometimes turn into a weird light portal. So it'll be like nighttime, the room is pitch black, we have blackout blinds or whatever everywhere. They're not blinds, they're these little, our version of it, which is very DIY, involves a cardboard box. A lot of pashminas.
mhm.
Anyway, so this spot on the wall, it doesn't correspond to any light source inside or outside, but suddenly it'll be like uh, originally back when it first happened a few years ago, it was like a square of light that just got brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. And I even filmed it at the time. I was like, what the fuck? It was like the middle of the night, and I was like, I'm just gonna um and then the other night, so I just been thinking really, I think even you and I were just talking off the cuff about like people who've seen their guides in a way where they really saw them like moving
Mhm.
and stuff, whereas often my guides show up for me more um as still like a still face will just be suddenly in my environment if I want to see my guides, or a bunch of faces usually. Like it'll appear out of a plank of wood or like a pattern in an linoleum, and I'll be like, whoa, there's a face there. But it's not moving, or sometimes I'll feel them moving around or hear stuff. Um, but I was kind of like, I don't know, I just kind of feel like I'm like ready for more things, you know? So I was like, I don't know if there's a way, like I could see a guide where it wouldn't like completely freak me out, you know,
Yeah.
wibbly wibblies. So it was in the same spot on the wall. It was like this blobby kind of figure that looked like it had two legs, but it was very abstract, and it kind of had a little bit of a greenish glow in it to give it like a bit of a like
Mm.
extraterrestrial feel. And it was like moving. So it looked like it was walking, like the way the light was shifting, like it looked like it was moving and walking. And then it would like suddenly disappear. And then it would come back,
Whoa.
and then it would like suddenly disappear. And then at one point there was just like a big flash of light in the thing.
Oh.
Like, and I tried to film that and it wouldn't let me. That was interesting. Like
Oh.
showed a dark wall when I tried to film it. Nothing
Mm.
put up at all, which was really interesting. And it did
Yeah.
freak me out. I think because it was so vague
Mm.
that it, and I was, you know, when you're falling asleep, I was kind of like,
Yeah.
they're like, this is this just like nothing? But it's the same spot on the wall, doesn't correspond to any. I think it was something, but it just was like so non-threatening and kind of just looked like light pattern that
Mhm.
it didn't freak me out at all, but it also didn't like blow my mind in the way that like that's fucking cool, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
thing that happened. But in the moment, I was just like, okay, I think, and the flash of light was kind of neat, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm trying to like work myself up to something even more.
Hmm.
And then the
Mm.
other thing, um, was I got like a 60 activation. I've been going to this really great cranial sacral, he does cranial sacral massage as well as somatic work and like some energy work thrown in. And I actually found out about him through TikTok because he has a very popular TikTok feed and he talks about stuff all the time, which is interesting. And then I was like, oh, he's in Toronto and he gives things. And I was like, I'm going. So he's been doing work. This is my third session with him. Been going to him like roughly every 2 weeks. And this past one, he was cradling my head. And then I'm sure this is like something common and it even has a name and it has a whole like field of study behind it. But anyway, it was the first time I had experienced. He was holding my head and then my head just moved of its own accord. Like I wasn't doing anything. So I'm just going to follow this. And he totally went with me. So it's like normally I just lie still and he does his thing, but my head just started to go one way. So I just followed it and then it just started to go the other way.
Whoa.
And then, yeah, it was really neat. And then after that, I've been getting a lot of Atlantis downloads about things. And there were things about like tapping into your core frequency every day for 3 minutes. And I don't think I'm quite at the place yet to really do that because I'm still bringing too much like stress to I'm not treating it as a chill thing yet.
Mm-hmm.
But what I have been doing, so when I tried to do it, it would turn into this, which was my body would start moving of its own accord and I would just follow the movements. And so the way it feels, it's even right now it's happening. Like I just, you'll see my arm, if you're watching, you just see my arms going up, but I'm not doing that. It's like, when you stand in the doorway, that thing you do as a kid and you press the back of your hands against the doorway for like 30 seconds or a minute, and then you'd step out and your arms would just lift up by themselves. That's what it feels like, but I haven't done that, So like,
wow.
Looks like I'm slowly moving my arms up, but it's like
You're just chilling.
It feels like a very gentle energy.
Interesting.
Pushing them up.
Interesting.
And yeah, so I'll kind of stand around and do that for like several minutes and just see
what's up,
what happens. And it's just cool. I haven't really tried it with my legs. I think maybe I've swayed, my body has like swayed of its own accord.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, this is really pushing, like right now it's pushing me into like an uncomfortable position with my neck.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like leaning my head really far back.
You don't look very comfortable.
Yeah. I'll just see what. No, that was me moving. It's really easy to get into like, it's so trippy. It's just like, yeah, getting out of like directing your own movements. Because as soon as I try to, or as soon as I think too much about it or whatever, then I'm like, now my hands are just going back towards each other and my neck thankfully got itself out of that position. Anyway.
What do you think is going on? Or do you not have any?
Just raising my hands so you can see how they went. I think it's a form of surrender. It's a form of playing with energy and with your body to just like see what it wants to do without you telling it what to do, kind of thing. Yeah. And I think it also has to do with like the powers of geometry. Like some people talk about sacred geometry. Sometimes I'm in this place right now, we're calling everything like sacred is kind of I just miss like having more of a sense of humor, even though it's not that I don't think it's sacred, but I miss like funny words for things.
Yeah.
But like, I was, well, now they're going back. It's so funny. I was doing preparing an oracle reading or just thinking into the oracle reading that I'm going to do for this magazine in their winter issue, this magazine that's now having me do my oracle cards for their quarterly issues. And one of them had a dancer in it who's in a really interesting shape. And I was like, oh, it's like we're going to get into shapes with our bodies and stuff. Like,
okay.
Like creating shapes with our bodies, like is cool and fun and literally creative and like unlocks stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's that too. It happens really slowly, so
Yeah.
I don't always move that slowly.
Kind of dreamy.
It's very dreamy. All right, I'm gonna stop doing it. But
Okay.
if I just happened, I was like, I wonder if I could do it on camera if I'd be too self-conscious. But then it was like, I was like, honestly, I was hearing someone on another spiritual podcast the other day talking about just being open to like fucking around with their musician and like fucking around with music and like maybe accidentally stumbling on like the secret to levitation or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And just everything is still so psychedelic and
Yeah.
to be more so. Like I'm just definitely living in a very, very psychedelic version of stuff right
Yeah.
now.
That made me think of bumblebees, how they basically levitate and use frequency to do,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Oh man, so many little clues.
Hmm. I have so many bumblebees too because I have all these sunflowers outside of my house, and there there's just so many cute fuzzy bee bodies, levitating, flying around, and yeah, I just get to have a lot of bumblebee energy right now. Well, also butterflies, but
Oh,
the
I'm
bees are pretty cute.
frigging adorable.
I know, I
Um,
know. I just want to pet them. I want to hold them and pet them, but also I'm a little scared still because I don't want to get stung or anything.
yeah, I mean, yeah. And this has been the late summer of sunflowers. I mean, I, for the first time ever, got sunflowers, and then we found out that our friend Shay at the same time had gotten some sunflower for herself. And
Yeah.
you were showing pictures of the sunflowers that were just naturally growing.
Hmm.
And then I've been walking around. There's a few places around here that have sunflowers, but they've been like 15, 16, 17 feet high this year.
Yeah.
They're like so noticeable. It's like, whoa,
Hmm.
like, like residential streets in Toronto, like outside people's houses. So it's
Cool.
quite striking in that context.
Yeah.
It's like not rural at all.
Yeah.
So there's, yeah, a lot of sunflower energy.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely the first time I've had sunflowers. It's really cool. And I didn't just get like the regular yellow sunflowers, but my friend's wife started a bunch of Mexican sunflowers
So
plants, and I got some of those, and they're yellow or they're orange, and it's just so cool to have a sea of yellow and orange flowers out there. And the Mexican sunflowers are apparently like the monarch butterflies love them. So that's why this woman plants, like she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get all the, and I even planted, she started a bunch of other flower, autumn setias and butterfly weeds, plants, which I've never heard of any of those, but they
one,
start to bloom in the fall. So to kind of help them transition from the summer to the, like, it's when the sunflowers and all the regular flowers die off, then the autumn flowers can kind of come online, and they're not so like harshly cut off from their, pollen and nectar sources. And I feel like I'm really feeding the wildlife right now, and it feels so nice.
that's so nice.
Yeah.
That reminds me when you said fall flowers of my dream where I was talking about how I was like, I think I'm gonna like the fall flowers even more than the spring flowers.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny you were talking about body stuff too, and I had that dream about being in a brand new BMW with all the bells and whistles and all the things. And I was like, and I knew when I woke up, I was like, this is my new body. And I was like, oh, why was it a BMW? Because I don't know that I would choose a BMW. I mean, I wouldn't turn it down, but I don't know if I would choose. And I was like, oh, German. That's a German. That's why we're getting the
But
German cleared out. Hmm?
by the time this morning Space Chats comes out, you should already have access to the 2 long episodes that we recorded recently, and there's a lot of body talk on those.
Yeah.
Talking about like body upgrades and 60 body stuff.
Mhm.
So hopefully it comes out in that order. And everything works out well, because that'll be cool. Otherwise you'll see my face like this, and then you'll drastically different, and then you'll see it kind of back to like this.
No, I should get it up. I'm gonna go to the 11:01. That's so funny on the time. I'm gonna go to the Cedar, the coffee shop, and do some work today. So that'll be my editing day, get out of the house day. So
Very fun.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check and see. I have no idea where these came from, but I was clearing out our bookshelves, and there's like 2 very, very old copies of Wuthering Heights.
Mm.
But like super old, like from the early 1900s.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I'm like, whose were these? Why are these? How did I buy these? Anyway, the shop that started all my Oracle card stuff, which is this very cool vintage antique bookstore where I bought that children's book, that first children's book that got me on my journey of making Oracle cards out of old children's books. They'll like appraise things for you and stuff, and tell you like, I just want to know more about it, and also just see is this like secretly valuable? Who knows?
Yeah.
But I was like, this is trippy. Like, why are they in our house?
That's so funny.
A lot of books. And
Yeah.
also like sort of gone through things and like weeded out several times, and I still don't know where those are. Like I vaguely remember seeing them the last time we went through, and I was like, huh? But I wasn't paying as much attention, and then now I'm just like, double, huh? What the hell?
Double, huh? Nice. Nice. It's so funny. Vintage is like so coming, like that word keeps coming up into my own life and experience. And I actually just bought,
Oh my
because
god,
oh, go ahead.
your corset.
Oh my gosh, that too. Oh, because I was just gonna say I bought a cigarette roller that from like the 20. I mean, it's not from the 20s, but it's the design from like those early '80s where it's like a cylinder and you roll it. And because I started smoking again. I don't know. I don't care. I like love smoking, and I'm just kind of allowing myself to smoke cigarettes and not beat myself up over it. And so, but they're so expensive, and also they have a lot of chemicals added to them. But if you buy your own tobacco, there's not really, I mean, I'm sure they still put, so, crops in general in America are kind of treated with all kinds of bullshit, but they don't add extra stuff, or at least I'm under the impression of that. So I got this like vintage looking cigarette roller, and I'm going to go buy tobacco today actually after I do the editing. But anyway, so I'll let you know how that goes. But also, yeah, the same, I was the vintage thing. I was at a friend's house, and we were trying on Renaissance Festival clothing that she had, and she kept telling, she was like, yeah, I've heard her talk about this before. She was like, yeah, I have this piratey corset, and she's like, I never wear it. I wore it once, and it didn't really, she was like, and it was funny because when we were trying it on, she was like, you got to wear this, you're gonna love it, blah blah blah. And I was like, I put it on, and I just immediately felt like I was home. It was weird. I've never said that about a piece of clothing before, and I had this on. I was like, oh, this is amazing. I feel like I'm home. And she's like, honestly, I wore it once, and I knew it wasn't mine, and I just kept it because I never threw it out. And she's like, you gotta just take it. So now I have this like cool as piratey
It's
corset.
gorgeous.
It's
And
so cool.
I'm not going to say this time just because I'm concerned about
Oh,
if we have a weird view and they can't see it. But next
yeah.
time when we're sure we have the gallery view, you have to show it because
Okay, cool. It's
it's
awesome.
so beautiful.
Yeah. And I did try it on by myself, like the next day, like I have it at home and but I'm not quite good enough yet to like really figure it out, but I got it pretty tight. But I think I'm still gonna need some help. And the sleeves, the little strap sleeve things are a little too big, which always happens to me when I get like a dress or any kind of thing. It's like, I don't know, the distance from my shoulders and my chest are just not as tall or whatever as other people, so I always have to shorten the strap. So I'll have to work on that at some point. But also it's fine if they kind of droop a little bit because that's kind of a sexy look too. But it's just a really, I've never had a corset before. I've always wanted one, but I have one now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of more examples. I've had so many examples lately of just like do nothing and the problem goes away on its own.
Mhm.
But I was trying to think of more.
Well, I have one actually, if you
Great.
want to. I don't know. I'm still kind of
Now,
in the middle of it, so it's interesting. But you know how I don't. I'm pretty sure I've talked about the family lawsuit on this website or on this website. Oh my God, on this podcast. But I won't go into it all anyway. But we're in the middle of this family lawsuit. It's been going on for almost 3 years, whatever. And I have had. You were actually the first one to give me a message that I was maybe not supposed to be as involved as I have been, and I've been getting that feeling too. So anyway, the last mediation we had back in April, I actually didn't end up going to. And I had a whole freak out moment of like, am I going to get in trouble? Like all these things, but I didn't go and I didn't get in trouble and it was fine. And this, we're supposed to have a final trial in November, like in front of the judge and whatever. But apparently, my mom just, texted me. She was like, "We have another mediation at the end of September." Just as like a last minute, let's try to really wrap this up. I don't know what all these little threshold guardians coming up, whatever. So I was like, shit, I know I'm not supposed to go to this. And so this morning I texted her. I was like, I'm actually out of town that day because I am out of town technically, but not till that night. I'm going to a comedy show. So I just said I was like, I'm not available that day. But also, I had a dream that Pasha, my grandmother, told me not to be going to these anymore because I did have an ancestral purging dream and I realized that that was part of it. So I texted her that and I was freaking out that I was going to get in trouble and all whatever. And then I texted her right after saying like thank you because she'd ordered me some work boots. And so I did the whole mediation thing. I'm not going to be going to that, but then I was like thank you for the boots. I'm really doing a lot of work so I can use them. And anyway, she texted, I was expecting a blow up or silence or I don't know what I was going to get. And then she just responded, "Oh yeah, the boots are beautiful and indestructible." It was like nothing. It was like it didn't matter that I said I wasn't going to go. Like nothing bad happened. So again, I'm like in the middle of it still, but also I'm just kind of like I said my hard thing that I had to do expecting a problem and I didn't get the problem that I thought I was going to get.
that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, see.
Um, what are okay? Well, I'll give one example. That's crazy though. 3 years. Holy boo-boos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and that's like such a nice thing to not be doing. I mean, to be doing instead of that is
Yeah.
fun. Like that's
Yeah.
so great. Um, one of my examples is from this past Mercury retrograde. So part of what I was doing during that Mercury retrograde was ignoring the Mercury retrograde and not giving it attention as much as possible because I'm pulling away from the planets being able to have
Yep.
chaotic or stressful influence on my life anymore. And like only benefiting from their cycles.
Mhm.
So it was an interesting mix of like Mercury retrograde type things coming up and then like just going away when not paying attention and stuff. And then also the times when I was paying attention and I did give anyway. There's a whole thing, but my example that I wanted to share was I used to be an editor for this film journal and we were like a little collective, but then I also became the finance officer. And the journal has stopped putting out issues since 2020 but we have a book that we put out that we still get copies of and orders for and blah, blah, blah. So I kind of still take care of that stuff. And like a few years ago, this place in Germany ordered copies, and it was a big hassle.
Whoa, Germany.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they didn't stay on, they didn't like the customs for some reason it didn't easily, no, it's actually in Holland, not Germany, sorry, it's in Holland, and it didn't clear customs for some reason, or I don't know, they have a really fussy customs thing, so the customs were like reaching out to the museum and not hearing for them, so they eventually just sent it back to us, and it was like really expensive to ship there, and we ended up having to reship it at our own expense. It was very frustrating.
Yeah.
And so this time around, the woman who ordered, I was like, here is the link to the tracking. And then she's like, okay, so I'm going on vacation and these people will take over and they have the link. And I was like, I was just sensing, you know, and then sure enough, they're like, it's like, I was like, don't track its progress. Just give it no interest. But then I would go on the tracking and it had been at customs for like 4 days. And I'm like, and then they started emailing us, and it's like, I shouldn't even have been involved because I was just sending them the invoice and the person who was in charge of shipping, but she just wasn't really answering their emails or saying anything, which is what I should have done. But they started being like, sometimes we've had issues at customs, and is there anything you can do on our end and on your end or whatever? And I was just having flashbacks, and I knew it was like, don't get your energy. But finally, I just like, the old feelings were too strong, and I wrote an email and I was like, you know, here's the contact info for customs. I think if they're trying to like get in touch with you, you need to be the ones to get in touch with them. And then I put in the email, I was like, and I'm not gonna be available to answer any emails for the next 2 weeks.
Good for you.
Put a thing where I was like, that's it. Anyway.
Good.
So then 2 weeks later, I check in on what happened. And sure enough, the thing I sent did absolutely nothing. And they were like, oh, we did this and that, and it didn't work. And they're like, but then we found the letter from the thing, and it all had all went fine, and it would have been fine, and I could have just completely ignored it, and I could have just not even paid attention to a single emails at all. And I didn't get stressed out about it the way I used to, but it was just annoying me.
Yeah.
Where I did do something about it anyway. But that was like it was like, oh, but then we just found the stupid fucking letter and like got in touch with them. We got it, and it's like, yeah,
amazing.
But I've had other examples that were much nicer and smoother, but I can't seem to bring any of them to mind right now.
That's okay. We only have 40 minutes.
No, we got another extension actually.
Oh, we did. Okay. This is magical.
I think we're probably around the 40-minute right now. I don't necessarily need us to talk forever or have these be super long, but I just, like, I don't want to rush us off for this first one.
Okay, that sounds good. I like it.
Apparently we still have 2 more. I don't know, maybe we have a certain amount per month, but I figured it was fine to use one for this.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna put my estrogen on. Don't mind me. I have to put my shirt up because I have to put it on my inner arm.
How's that going?
It's good.
Or you want to ignore it?
No, I ignore it. But I feel like it's probably something I would get into more on like a main podcast because it's been a big journey.
Yeah.
Around hormones. It's actually pretty kind of trippy and interesting because now I've taken testosterone and estrogen. And I feel like that's a semi-unique like situation.
Yeah.
Body. So yeah, so at some point I'll chat about that. But I will show, I call it hot knifing my estrogen because
Hot knifing.
every dose I'm on of everything is like pretty much a half dose of the lowest dose. Like I feel like all the medications I'm on, I'm like microdosing, um, including estrogen. And this turns out to be the easiest way is I squirt the gel out onto a knife and then I just kind of eyeball it and I just divide it up with another knife. And I have little songs in my head that play that tell me like how much is too much and
Yeah.
then I put it on and I go about my day. But it is very funny because I dated I was in a long relationship with a guy in high school and after high school who did hot knife regularly. And so I always have associations in my head of like seeing two butter knives out.
Okay, wait. Is this an actual thing? I've never heard of hot knifing. I thought you were just making something up.
Knife is you put weed. It's like it's like a technique. Like if you don't have a lot of weed or if you don't have rolling papers or things like that, you just put a little bit of weed between two knives and you like put it over the stove and
Okay.
like I think you put something over it like you cut up like a Pepsi bottle and like put the smoke in like the
I've never heard of that.
hash as well actually. I think it might even be more common for hash.
Okay.
Way to like heat up hash.
That's so funny. I was just thinking about hash because now that I have this cigarette roller and I'm growing my own pot plant, once I have my own, buds and stuff later in probably October or whatever, I'm going to start making cigarettes that are tobacco and marijuana. And I was like, it was so funny because I don't know if I mentioned it on this podcast before, but I've talked about it for myself where I've just been like asking for this apothecary friend who can, dry herbs and make me cool cigarettes with like, not just like good tobacco and herbs and other kinds of things. And here I am. I'm doing it myself. I'm drying my own herbs. I'm growing my own weed, and I'm going to make my own cigarettes that I've been
Or
asking.
making your bitches brew, like you were already
Hmm.
well underway.
I know it's wild, and it's been like a whole journey for me to see how I'm capable of doing things that I thought I wasn't able to, or just assumed other people would be better at than me. And it's like, maybe it's not my specialty or whatever, but it's like I can do all these things. And so guess what? You're gonna do them all on your own. It's been cool because now I have a dehydrator and I have all these like herbs that I've been drying, and I've been, I have a shitload of cherry tomatoes and I've been sun drying, well, quote unquote sun drying them in the dehydrator with like
Ooh.
spices and stuff. Oh
Ooh.
my God, they're like candy. I can eat that, but I'm obviously saving most of them for, winter and making with soups and that kind of stuff. But you can't, it's like tomato jerky, which sounds weird, but it's really good.
Um, wow.
Yeah.
It's so friggin' cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something else. Do you have any, could you, do you have any on hand to show?
Actually, yeah, they're right here.
Oh, cool. I really hope I didn't flash you guys my nip. It's awkward.
Get my microphone back together. All right. These are my cherry tomatoes.
Oh, so nice.
I will get out a couple so you can see like, can you see? Oh,
They look beautiful. I love cherry tomatoes most of all.
I know. They're so delicious. Anyway, so yeah, I put Italian seasoning and salt
Oh,
and anything, something else. Anyway, yeah, I have like, this is one jar. I have 2 jars full of these. And a little goes a long way. So it's like I've got quite a lot. And I'm not, the cherry tomatoes are still growing. Like I'm still harvesting them. And I'm like, oh my God, I have another huge, not huge, but a big old bucket full of a little tiny bucket, but still. So yeah, I'm gonna get some more. And then I have squash that's almost ready harvest and a bunch of sweet potatoes. And I'm making, I also have bigger tomatoes, like they're kind of yellow gold tomatoes. And I've got my friend, the friend who gave me the corset, she has this really cool recipe for, she calls it the sauce. She and her mom grew up making the sauce. And I've had some of the sauce. Like we were working at the library together and she made some and gave me a little thing of it, and it is delicious. And so I already have recruited her to make the sauce with the tomatoes that I have. So I don't know when we're going to do that, but I definitely am freezing all the tomatoes, and we'll get to those at some point. But preparing for the winter, you know.
Love it. Those
Yeah.
tomatoes are amazing.
Yeah.
Sitting here with my arm out. Could have worn an undershirt, I suppose.
What would be the fun in that?
I'm curious, okay, for people that are regular tuners into this podcast, I would really love to hear from you about any topic, but how do your guides show up to you? Like, do you hear, see, is it in your mind? Do you meditate? Like, anyway, I would just be very curious. So
Me too.
please send us a DM on Instagram or email at spacecatshappyhour@gmail.com. I went and checked everything today so that I wouldn't be so out of it.
You can also leave us comments on YouTube or Spotify, and we can.
Yeah, leave us a comment. That would be
Yeah.
great. That's an
Yeah.
easy way to do it.
Yeah.
And tell us if you'd be into a tote bag that has a Lazy Witch Oracle card on one side and Space Cats Happy Hour on the other.
Hell yeah.
Look into this possibility.
Merch is coming up. I feel like we've got some good ideas for that. I want to make merch for the Midnight Diner. I'm already just like ready to go. I'm not going to do it yet because it's not quite the time, but I'm thinking about it.
Is the eclipse today?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been having, I feel like we're closing in on the time to wrap up, but I did want to say I've been having fun dreams. I think I mentioned on one of the other episodes that, yes, I did. Like how we're entering this period of like lots of laughs, or at least the messages were that I'm entering this period of lots of laughs. I'd love to extend that to everybody else and send that laugh energy your way in the collective. But it's been showing up in my dreams. And I had a funny dream last night with my friend Steffi, who lives in Medellin, Colombia. That's where she grew up as well. And in the dream, she and I were talking about I think it was getting sex toys across customs. Anyway, it was getting sex like past somebody, like some official or something. And she was making a joke about like how it fell out, and then the guy was looking at her and she was like, excuse me, like are you gonna have some kind of like how dare you have some problem with this thing I made? And then I was like, this thing you made? And then I was like, what was it, like a Lego dildo? And then for some reason in the dream that cracked the shit out, and we were just laughing and laughing at this idea of like a Lego dildo that you would assemble.
That's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, it was just a bit of
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
yeah. I feel like there's so many things to share, but yeah, we can spread them out over
Okay.
multiple episodes.
Yeah.
And this feels like a pretty good resting point because I have to both pee and wash the estrogen off my hands so that I don't make our whole household covered in estrogen and start accidentally force transitioning Mike.
Oh my God, I love it. I'm actually going to get a haircut on Monday so that.
Oh, you're getting a haircut too?
On Monday, yeah. So the next time we record, I will have either, I haven't decided yet, but there's going to be a lot more shaved head. So probably go straight mohawk instead of just doing like half. Like I was like, should I do a half or should I do a whole? I'm probably going to do a whole. I don't know, we'll see. But
oh, fucking wicked.
yeah, baby.
Oh yeah, that's kind of my haircut because I tried a new person. I've been going to someone who I love, love, love. But his salon uses products. Going in there, there's a scent, and the products have a scent, and it's just so I found this other place that uses natural products. And the person who cut my hair was named Ray, but like R-E with the accent, like I'm K as K-E.
Oh,
that was cute.
That's cool. Oh, love finding. They did a good job. I love it.
Next time you see us, Dread Pirate KK may have a brand new look. Maybe you'll be in your corset with your mom.
Maybe if I can get it on, why not? I'll show you.
Dress up too, and we can have like a dress up morning space chat.
Oh, I love it.
But until then, so long, space kittens. We love you, and have a great week.
Yeah.
Hope this started your week off on a nice note.
Peace.
Bye.